It is the Notorious Jawcast from the city of Moose Jaw, Craig Hemingway, joined by our Recreation Services Manager, Scott Osmachenko. Scott, thanks for being on here.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you about recreation programs today, Craig.
Yeah, exciting that we have the reopening of Yara Centre and the Kinsmen Sportsplex pool to talk about. Before we go into the details of all of that, Scott, talk about the process of how much it took just to get here and the amount of work and coordination with staff and training and all of those things.
Right. So ever since probably the end of June, we've been getting a lot of the guidelines from the province, and we've been following those guidelines. So we have taken quite a comprehensive view of our procedures, our policies. We had to basically redo all of our aquatic safety plan. We had to train the staff. And again, we did have to work within the guidelines related to limits and to a great way to keep the public safe when they come and use our facility. So it was a lot of work. A lot of the staff took a lot of time to develop plans and details to keep the public safe when they come and visit our facility.
Yeah, and of course, dealing with the constant change throughout this process, because it's always evolving, isn't it?
Correct. Yes, we continually get with the guidelines being changed, indoor limits being changed, just the protocols that keep coming out from the province. We stay in touch with them. I've been in good contact with other communities as well too to see what's working. But it is a constant change, and we anticipate more change as we open up and basically take care of the public safety.
Yeah, so what we're about to talk about again could very well change in the coming weeks, and probably for sure we would assume months, but let's not make any assumptions. Let's talk about what we know for sure, and
right.
Let's start with, we know that Yara Centre, the fitness area and the walking track officially opened on August 10th. Let's stick specifically with Yara Centre and go over some of the changes, because there's some modified hours and how you actually go and use the facility has changed.
Right. So we kind of have a phase process, very similar to the Reopen Saskatchewan plan. So we do have a plan for August. So basically, we have a 3-week plan that we're going to implement. We'll test it, make sure it's great. But yes, the Yara Centre is opening Monday. We are going to be open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday. So as during August, we won't be open during the weekends, but we want to make sure everyone knows 8 to 9 for the fitness center. And then the track is going to be open from 8 until 5 p.m. Monday to Friday as well.
Okay, and if you want to use the walking track or the fitness center, you need to book ahead.
Right, you do. So one of the big changes is the capacity. So we can only have 30 people in the fitness center and 12 people on the track. And so we do need to ensure we can maintain those numbers. So we do require everyone to register online before they come ahead. That's our number one message. If you can register online through the website, I always find the Moose Jaw City app, which you can download today, is probably the easiest way to do it. It's right on your hands. It's very convenient. You can look at our online schedule, book your time. Or if you're struggling with any of those technologies, you can still call the Yara Centre and book your time. But everyone will need to have an account, including all members of your family, just for contact tracing in case of any issues that come up. So it is important that you book your time ahead of time, just so you don't be disappointed and show up and not be able to work out at your specific time.
Yeah, absolutely. The accounts are free to set up, and again, you can do it online. The online recreation link that's on the website, or as you said, it's the online recreation piece that is on our city app. And if you do call as well, again, our folks will walk you through the process and get you entered into the system. So again, we've got you there, and for any contact tracing or anything else we need, then you're set up and ready to go and can start booking facilities. Of course, many people are already members. They've got their recreation pass. I guess there's a one-day advantage to being a recreation member in terms of booking, isn't there?
There is, yeah. So if you are a rec member or a Yara Centre member or one of our many members, you can book 5 days in advance. So you know you want to come and work out, you just have an extra day advantage over non-members. So membership does have benefits, and that's one of them.
For the fitness center, what about using the locker room and the showers?
So everything will be opened other at the Yara Centre. Just there will be reduction in in lockers. The shower rooms, the washrooms will be open because that promotes good hygiene. We will ask you to wash your hands, take care. So everything will be opened related to a normal process that you might have. We'll need everyone to bring their own locks. Everyone will be given their own sanitizer. We'll be using paper towels. But the one thing our users at the Yara Centre will really notice a difference is upstairs. So before we had all of our fitness equipment just in the one room. We've spread it out over all the second floor so we can ensure 2-meter distancing for everyone. So a lot more space. We weren't able to accommodate every piece of equipment, but we really have a safe environment up there where everyone can maintain 2-meter physical distancing while they're working out.
And what about that equipment? The onus is going to have to be on users to ensure, because they're already, when you go to the fitness center or any gym, really, there's the spray
Right.
bottles to wipe things down, the benches or what have you. So I suspect we really need to enforce that.
Correct. Yeah. So I guess safety is everyone's responsibility. So we all need to work together to protect each other. So yes, I said yes. Everyone will be given a sanitizing bottle. You'll be required to spray down everything before and after you use it. But as well, we do have city staff. We've actually purchased some new equipment to mist and to clean. We'll be looking at all the high touch spots. So yeah, everyone will be working. All the staff will be keeping safe, doing sanitizing, as well as all of our members and users.
Okay. Anything else with the Yara Centre?
I don't think so. I guess when you get there, your membership, we have all the options. You can come and take a look, see if it's right for you. We really think it's going to be a great facility related to space. There's lots of space, reduced capacity. The track will look a little bit different, but we're really just encouraging everyone to come and give it a try. And I want to say it's almost like your New Year's resolution is starting all over again. It's like January 1st. So think about it that way. Get started. Enjoy the summer while you can, but the indoor season is coming. So get ready, come try it out, and let's start some new resolutions.
Yeah, I think the joke is if you put on the COVID-19 or 15 or 10 or whatever it may be,
Absolutely.
now you can start attacking that. Let's move on to the Kinsmen Sportsplex pool, and a lot of excitement around being able to swim again, which is exciting. And again, changes certainly for the month of August with our phased plan regarding not only times but again attendance. So can you talk about those changes?
Right. So big thing here. The limit that we're going to have for our lane swims is 30. We're only going to have 15 people for our aquafit classes. And the big change that we want to promote is we technically don't have public swim anymore. We're calling it family swim. And we can only have 65 swimmers in the entire pool. The big change is that you need to come as a family member. So anyone that's under the age of 16 needs to be accompanied by a parent or a caregiver, just so we can ensure physical distancing in the pool, in the change rooms, and in the lobby. So that's probably the biggest change that we have. There's quite a reduction. It's actually, we used to be over 100, 120 people in the pool. So that's a big change that we're going to happen. So 65 people max. And again, all the messaging we just talked about, the Yara Centre for booking online is going to be probably more important at the pool, so you can guarantee your spots.
Sure thing. Now, of course, there's the pool, but there's also, we've got a water slide, we've got a hot tub and a steam room. Are those all open?
So the water slide will be opened. The hot tub will be open for a maximum of 6 people only, but the steam room will remain closed. The guidelines right now, it's not a safe environment to have the steam and the air moving, so the steam room will be closed.
Certainly. No, that makes sense. And I guess overall, whether it's Yara Centre or Kinsmen Sportsplex pool, and this applies to any place, business, facility in the city of Moose Jaw, we are asking users again to ensure that you're healthy when you're showing up.
Correct. Yes. So when you do book online, you will have a few screening questions, just like you would have at most stores locations. We will just, ask you again when you come into the centers, just, are you healthy? Do you have any of these symptoms? There'll be a sign on the door. But it is just a basic messaging that's been going out since March. If you're not feeling well, just stay home. That's basically what we want to do. So we want to protect everyone. But if you're healthy and happy and ready to work out, get your heart beat up, yeah, please come and join us and come back to the pool or the Yara Centre.
Oh, terrific. And again, as we mentioned, there's been lots of training for staff to make sure they're aware of all these new procedures that we're going to be outlining. And we just ask for everybody's patience, right? It's new. This is new for everybody, new system, all those things. So we just ask for patience and as we work our way through this.
Right. So that will be the first days. As you talked about, it is important if you're interested, please set up your Perfect Mind account so everything's ready to go. That will speed up the process immensely. And yeah, just have some patience. And again, we're really respecting everyone to keep that physical distancing in the pool, in the change rooms, at the fitness center. But we do have the luxury of space. So the Yara Centre is a big space, the pool is a big space, and so we're confident that we can maintain the physical distancing with everyone's help.
And as we mentioned, these are August hours, phased-in approach. Come September, I know people will be interested as well. Yes, swimming lessons are planned for September, and registration for those also begins August 10th.
Correct. Yes. So August 10th, you'll see same way you register for a swim or a fitness center workout, our traditional swim lesson program and fitness programs or any recreation programs that we will be offering will be ready August 10th online. We will be constantly adding new programs, so keep refreshing that web page and look for new programs as they come about. But the one really big change with swim lessons is anyone that has a preschooler or levels 1 to 4, parents will be required to go in the water with their child. The guidelines are basically the instructor will be teaching from the deck, and just due to physical distancing and touching that's related to swim lessons, parents will be required, or a caregiver, someone in the water with that child.
Capacity for each class, have those numbers changed as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We used to have classes of 12 and 8, and now we're limited to 6. So 6 participants with a parent, all within that 2-meter spread. So yes, we have reduced classes, reduced size, just to respect the guidelines.
Okay, so get registered, and of course, any follow-ups you can address either online or again by calling the facility, and our trained staff will be able to help you with that. Scott Osmachenko, Recreation Services Manager for the City of Moose Jaw. Anything we've missed with our reopen plan for Yara Centre and the Kinsmen Sportsplex?
No, I don't think so. We basically are excited to have everyone back. For all those members coming back, you know, your membership will start your first day if you are comfortable. Everyone else, we're going to start the memberships on September 1st. So there's a little bit of a buffer period to get everyone comfortable and making sure you enjoy your experience. But we all know how important physical activity is in this time, and this is just another opportunity as it gets the indoor season to remain active with your family. So we encourage everyone to visit the website, register. If you have any questions, call or email us. We'll be more than happy. And as you said, yeah, we do ask for patience. Everyone's going to be excited to get back, and there might be a few lineups. So register online early.
Fantastic. And we'll also have a list of a frequently asked questions document that's available on our coronavirus page at the City of Moose Jaw, also the swimming page and the Yara Centre page. We've got it on a few different places for you to find. Scott, thanks so much, and I know we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone.
It is the City of Moose Jaw's Notorious Jawcast. Thanks for joining us, and glad to be joined by a regular guest on the Jawcast, City horticulturist Sarah Regent. Sarah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, as always, it's great to be here.
Yeah, and we're finding you where I guess your favorite place to be is outside in the City of Moose Jaw, looking at all things horticulture related. And of course, one particular item taking up a lot of your time and effort these days, Dutch Elm Disease in Moose Jaw. I guess, Sarah, if you can give us first a general sense of what kind of an issue Dutch Elm Disease has been in the City of Moose Jaw this year.
So we're seeing a bit increase over last year, particularly in Waccamo Valley, where we did find quite a large group of elms infected with Dutch Elm Disease. We found about 40 there so far this year. And in the rest of the city, we found about 20 trees with Dutch Elm Disease, which is slightly higher than last year, but not a lot. It's about what we expected. But of course, every case of Dutch Elm Disease needs to be dealt with as fast as we can, make sure we get that all cleaned up and try to prevent it from infecting more trees. So it's been quite busy.
Yeah, we'll get to the treatment in a moment. I guess you mentioned more than you expected. That would lead me to believe coming into this year, based on last year and the work you do, that you had a sense of how many might be on the precipice, on the cusp of maybe contracting the disease?
Yep, generally we can make some predictions based on last year's numbers and where they were. So we were expecting sort of around the 20 or so cases in the city. And then Waccamo, like I mentioned, we found a big patch of elms that was quite hidden by larger trees like poplars. So that was a bit of a surprise that we didn't account for. But at the same time, it is quite an isolated population of elms. So we're pretty confident that we will be able to contain it.
How do you contain it?
Prompt removal is the biggest thing. Getting that wood out of there, properly disposed of as fast as we can, and scouting. Now that we know it's been there, we can watch that area a little more closely for signs of Dutch elm disease.
And what are those signs again for anybody who may wonder if their elm tree is infected?
The first thing you're going to see is wilting leaves on usually just one branch or a small section of the tree. And then those leaves are going to start to dry up and curl, and they're either going to go yellow or brown. Sometimes they stay on the tree and sometimes they don't. I'm actually out here with a tree that is showing symptoms of Dutch elm disease. This particular one we have taken a sample from, and we're just waiting on the results from the provincial lab, who's able to test it and tell us for sure if it's Dutch elm disease or if it's potentially Dothrella wilt, which is a very similar looking disease that's a lot less serious and contagious. So you can kind of see here how there are patches of leaves that are looking quite yellow, and there are patches that are looking, quite all right still.
Right, and so the yellow ones would be the ones that are showing those signs, right?
Yeah, and so those yellow leaves are on a branch that would be infected with Dutch elm disease, and because it's a fungus that works its way through the conducting tissues of the tree, not all parts of the tree get infected at the same time. So the green leaves are on a part of the tree that hasn't been infected yet, or has not been infected very severely yet. And so those leaves are still getting water from the roots.
So what can you do to this particular tree to try and save it?
Nothing is really the short answer. Once
Okay.
the tree has Dutch elm disease, that's it. The only thing to do is to remove it. And so you can see this one's starting to get bare patches. So even if it is Dothrella wilt, which occasionally can be pruned out, this tree is going to have to be removed because it's just too sick and there's nothing you can do. Dutch elm disease is a very, very aggressive disease. Sometimes it can kill a tree in as little as 3 weeks. So there's nothing to do but remove it. But there is a lot we can do to prevent it.
Right, and I know we posted a picture within the last couple of weeks of you injecting a fungicide into some trees in the city of Moose Jaw. So that's purely a preventative measure. Just how do you choose which trees can get that treatment? Because I don't suspect all can. Or at least in terms of or at least our resources to be able to go around and do that to every single tree.
Exactly. And we wouldn't want to do it to every single tree, even if we had resources, because it is quite an invasive procedure. It does involve drilling quite a few holes. If people have maybe seen the photo on our social media, each little orange piece had to have a hole drilled for it. So it's good for the tree in that it does protect it from Dutch elm disease for 3 years, but also it can be quite stressful. So if that tree is not in an area with high Dutch elm disease pressure, we wouldn't treat it. So this year we chose trees on South Hill that are, in the area that we've had a lot of cases of Dutch elm disease this year. And so we know that the pressure is quite high and they're at a greater risk just by proximity to cases last year and this year.
Right. So about how many trees are we able to give that treatment to?
This year we did 5. We're hoping to maybe get a few more next year. We are still learning the system and seeing how it goes because it is a learning process. It is quite different than any other application of any kind of insecticide or pesticide that we would apply. So we're taking it slow this year just to make sure that we know what we're doing and can carefully monitor the trees we have injected to make sure that it was done right.
Any advice for our residents in regards to their own elm trees as we sit here in early August?
Biggest thing, still do watch for symptoms. We have a couple more weeks where trees can show symptoms of Dutch elm disease. So if you do see anything like the tree we were just showing, any yellowing, sudden dropping of leaves, give us a call, send us an email, report it on the app. We're happy to take a look. Come September, you can have your elms basil sprayed, which controls elm bark beetles, which are the ones that actually spread the disease from tree to tree. And that involves just spraying the bottom ½ meter of the tree with an insecticide to prevent those elm bark beetles from overwintering. And also the pruning ban comes off September 1st. So if you have any elms that need pruned, hold off until then. And then come September 1st, you can prune out any dead wood that might be in there, broken rubbing branches, things like dead wood. Open wounds are great habitats for elm bark beetles. So if you can, remove those and make sure you're disposing of the wood using an elm wood disposal permit. And that gets it into the landfill for free, where it'll be buried so that it can't infect any other trees or breed any elm bark beetles.
Right, and we can get those permits from City Hall?
You can get those from City Hall, yes. We're open 11 to 3 right now. You can also send us an email, recreation@moose-jaw.ca, to request the permit, and we can get all of the information that way and email you a copy so that you don't have to come into City Hall.
Fantastic. Anything else with Dutch Elm Disease, Sarah?
I think we have covered a lot about Dutch Elm Disease today. That's all of your basics. The biggest thing is scouting and prompt testing and removal. That's our best defense.
I guess before we go, it's been a hot summer, but not overly dry. We've had some big shots of rain here and there. How are the rest of our trees and flowers and other plants doing across the city?
They're doing pretty well. Like you said, we have had some rain later on in the season. We had a bit of a dry start. Spring was quite dry, and we had kind of a strange winter. We had quite a bit of cold without a lot of snow, and we had quite a cold spring. So some of the trees saw a bit of damage, but for the most part, trees and flowers seem to be recovering from that quite well. Even the cedars and junipers, which we did see a lot of winter damage on, a lot of them, the parts that didn't get winter kill, do seem to be coming back quite nicely. So things are perking up. It's looking really good.
Fantastic. Well, before we let you go, it's just a reminder again to residents, if you have an issue or you're not sure if it's an issue, but you have some questions about trees or anything else horticulture related in the city, just use our app, take a picture, and submit the request with the Request for Service app, which is free in either the Google Play or Apple app stores. And you can also use the Report an Issue feature right on our website, which does the exact same thing, allows you to attach a picture and send in the question. And Sarah and her team will get back to you and answer those questions for you. Anything else to add, Sarah?
I think that covers it. Just, everyone keep enjoying the nice warm weather while we have it, and get out and enjoy all the wonderful shade and the trees and all the wonderful flowers we have.
Sarah Region, our city horticulturist, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.